I want to start off by talking about brevity, because it's well documented that logistics and technology have continued to grow more complex over the last 15 years. Have companies felt the need to make their communications complex without considering why?
I think that generally what happens right now is the world is changing so fast and it's getting so complicated, there's a general sense of resignation, like it's just going to be complicated, there's not a lot we can do. And I think one of the primary roles today is to simplify things that are complex. And that's a new skill set for all of us. And people are just beginning to discover that they have to find ways to make things easier for people to understand, and they just can't throw up their hands and say, I feel a sense of helplessness, the world is too complicated.
They think of that in terms of products. They're able to think of, we need to make something easier for a customer, but communication's less so.
Yeah, I mean, I think people say, well, it's the rate of change, everything's happening so fast, but they have to stop and say, well, if I'm communicating this to somebody and they're not going to get it, why am I going through all this effort of explaining it if their takeaway is confusion? So you have to find, in the same way like we do for brands in the communication realm, how do we simplify complex ideas through like analogies and stories, and there's devices to make it easier for people to manage complexity.
One way in which the attempt to make things simple can often be ground to a halt is when you have one message that's communicated differently by each member of a team. What steps can a leader take to ensure that the core message it has consistency when it's communicated, regardless of who's delivering the message?
I think there's a couple of mistakes that leaders have as they have a lot of key stakeholders who have a lot of diverse perspectives. So you have product managers and quality and sales and human resources and all these different functions within an organization that look at it slightly different. And leaders tend to give a top-down, okay, this is what our story is, but they haven't taken the time to have inclusive conversations with people that build clarity and consensus. So in my experience, when it's the most powerful, leaders are actually at the center of bringing together these perceptions and these perspectives so that there's a core story developed that represents all of their points of view.